sponsors and partners, Accenture, West Rock, the CAU Lead Week, and my agency, Insights Marketing. I'm excited to be your moderator today. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I graduated from FAMU with both a BS and an MBA in marketing. I spent 9 years in corporate America working for the Coca-Cola Company, Procter & Gamble, and Bell South, which is now AT&T. I left Coca-Cola and started my agency 20 years ago. I know I don't look it right. But I've been in the business a long time. I've been very, very successful, very, very blessed and thankful. I started off, and we still to this day provide 4 main areas of expertise: experiential marketing, event production, celebrity sourcing and partnerships, and non-traditional market research. My first client, what really put us on the map, was Urban Magic Johnson. How many follow basketball, familiar with Magic Johnson? Let me see some hands. Okay, good. So we're not too old. I'm not too old. But he has become a mammoth both on the business and the sports side of the world. But we work with athletes, entertainers, in every aspect of business. Probably some of the bigger names you'd be familiar with is Beyonce, Ludacris, Puff Daddy, Jay-Z. In sports and entertainment, Magic Johnson, Jerome Bettis, Charles Woodson, Josh Norman, LeBron, Dwayne Wade. So we've been very, very fortunate with some of the athletes and the companies we work with. Clark Atlanta University and Georgia Institute of Technology, where she earned a dual degree in mathematics and industrial engineering in the community. Miss Stacy Lee. She is a native Atlantan, ATL. You don't see it a lot anymore, especially when you get on college campuses like this, but she's an original AT-alien. Miss Nikki Martin. Supports numerous charities in the Atlanta area, including the American Cancer Society, Mothers and Daughters Against Cancer, the National Council of Negro Women, 100 Black Men of Atlanta chapter, and Operation Hope at Ebenezer Baptist Church. For more than anything else is her Camp Kizzy Foundation, which she started in 2010. And using her background in sociology, she created a free mentorship camp for youth aged 11 to 16 in her current home here in the ATL. And she also manages iconic kids around the country in the cosmetic, automotive, food, and beverage industries. And she's now revolutionizing the entire fashion industry with her new line and apparel brand called Deo. Ladies, this is something you need to ask for Christmas gifts for, because mission on the way. She's also the mom of 2 gorgeous sons. Shaka Zulu is CEO of Disturbing the Peace Records and Ebony Sun Entertainment, both based here in Atlanta. Mr. Zulu has been making the mark in the music and entertainment business for over 20 years. Mr. Shaka Zulu. He's also a proud dad.
I can answer that. I can't work for anybody else. And I knew that early in life, when I started in corporate America, I just didn't fit. And I wanted to do more things. And a structured environment doesn't allow you to do that. So I knew I had to forge ahead and think differently and step out on faith. And I wasn't afraid to do that. So when I decided to first become a makeup artist, I was actually a financial advisor at MCI. And I just knew I didn't want to do that every day. I had to fight traffic, and once I got to work, I was frustrated. And then I had to take time to get my mind right. And then by that time, it's 11 o'clock. So I could get an hour's worth of work in and then go to lunch. But I just knew that I didn't want my life to be like that. I wanted to do some different things. I wanted to explore the world, and makeup was my innate talent. I actually have a love for it. No one ever taught me how to do it. I just knew how. And that's a wonderful thing when God blesses you with a talent, and you're able to hone in on that and then turn that into a career and a company and your life. So if you notice there's something that you like to do and you have an innate talent for it, just forge ahead. Have faith in yourself and your ability. Get your friends together. Like I had friends, I would make up my friends and take pictures, and that's how I started. And unfortunately, we didn't have social media at the time like you all do now. So it was harder for us when we first started because we had to build our network. We had to use our parents' relationships and then our relationships. But you all have a wonderful outlet, which is social media, and you're able to get your product, your service out to very easily. So I think it's kind of easier for you guys now, but just have faith. Just step out on faith if you want to do something, and that's probably my best advice.
I'm the complete opposite. I love corporate America, and I excelled every day in corporate America, but there was a point in which I realized my earning potential was almost in the hands of one person. And when that started to become my reality and I could not drive my personal economic power to the level that I wanted it to be, which I made a whole lot of money, I just wanted to make more. I decided to take fate into my own hands and become an entrepreneur, because I believe today that you have to have multiple revenue streams in order to see the level of success that you need. So I would never say I would not go back to corporate America. I totally would, but I want to create multiple avenues for myself in order to make sure that my earning potential becomes exponential. So that's really why I became an entrepreneur.
You know, it was just around my family. My parents were both entrepreneurs, and they were also creatives in the music industry. And it was just what I saw every day. And literally, aunts, uncles, I'm trying to think if anybody have a job. Only my one aunt, who she worked at IBM for 20-something years. She was corporate. And then, but for the most part, my immediate family members were entrepreneurs. Some of them weren't legal, some of them weren't, but...
Understood.
For me, my background was mathematics and industrial engineering, so I actually worked in a field that I started working and I was like, I don't enjoy this, I don't love it. So it was in the meantime, in between time for me. Let me figure out what I'm going to do. Let me do this job until I figure out what it is that I'm passionate about. And that's when I left. I was making great money at General Motors, and I left and I came to Clark Atlanta and got my MBA in marketing and began my events company. So for me, it was a way to do something that I was passionate about. And starting off, I was interning for free. I was doing events for free, going from a great salary to doing things for free so I could get more experience in it. And sometimes that's the path that you have to take.
You know, mine is a very different and unique story because I literally have been working my whole life since I was 9 months old. So I feel like for me, because I started working so early, that I never felt like anything was unattainable. I came from the space of doing something and achieving so much. It was just so magical that, you know, most people dream of but never actually achieve. So I never felt like I lived in a box. So whatever I was passionate about, whatever I have desired to do, I have done it because I haven't felt like I couldn't. And the biggest thing I would say is that, you know, entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. You know, it's very easy to enjoy the quote-unquote paycheck that you know is coming. But the thing that I tell a lot of people, and it's funny because I have 3 brothers and I'm the oldest of 4, and 3 of us are more creative. Well, we're all creative, but one of my brothers is an engineer. And it's not until recently that he's starting to understand that he is working for someone else's vision. And at any moment, that security could be taken away from him. And you don't realize that because people tell you, go the corporate route, that's the safe route. But the reality is, I'd rather bet on me. If I'm going to put my money behind it, if I'm going to put my eggs in that basket, definitely you can't be the jack of all trades but master of none. However, I'm going to always bet on me. The knowing, not the faith, but the knowing. Yeah. It's a difference.
So I would say absolutely positively be consistent, right? Absolutely positively have faith.
If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to treat your business like a business, not like a hobby, right? It's fun today, I'm not interested tomorrow, you can't do that, right? Because at the end of the day, all this has to create a life and a lifestyle, and you got to make a living and all that stuff. Absolutely be consistent. The second thing, you absolutely have to have faith, right?
Any entrepreneurs in here? All right, hold on, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. Now, how many of you have a plan B? That's the problem. When you're an entrepreneur, absolutely, you believe in what you believe in, absolutely. When you commit to it, you commit to it. Because just like Keisha said, it's easy, and it's so much easier now with social media. When you have your friends online, flexing like, hey, it's all good. Watch this, if I ask my co-panelists to be honest, how many of y'all ever had a bad day when the check was supposed to come and it didn't? See that? See that? Raise their hand. Now, I'm gonna tell a little truth. Tell a little truth. Because the reality of it is, we want you guys to walk away informed, right? Here's a little truth. You saw them raise their hands. Now, you heard in the bio how many employees I have. You got dead silent in here, didn't it? And you talk about the check didn't come, you got to make payroll for 5,000 people. You got to make it regardless. Because when Friday comes, you know what they don't want to hear? My bad.
Like the government shutdown.
That's right. Like, and the government shutdown is a prime example. We have a couple of government contracts, and those people weren't at work to push the button. So that's what I'm saying. You have to be completely committed to it. And you have to figure it out, and you have to know that, hey, listen, put some stuff away because at some point it's going to rain.
As a community, it's been ingrained in us not to operate from a space of abundance. It's been ingrained in us to always be like, money is hard earned but easily lost. Those sort of sayings that we say, that we don't realize that it's programming the way that we feel and the emotional attachment that we have to money and how we operate with it. I say forget that. I say money is easily made again and again and again. Because what I know is that when that is the tenor of your thoughts, that is the tenor of your word, your action, your deed, when those things are in alignment, it happens. And you can't operate from a space of abundance and lack at the same time. You can't do it. And I'm not saying to be out here willy-nilly, woe is me, this money's gonna, I'm not saying that. You have to put the action behind it. You have to put the work behind it. You have to put all of those things behind it. But, culturally, I feel like as African Americans, we have come from a space where we've always been trying to catch up, where our parents have lived paycheck to paycheck, where we have seen struggle, and we've identified with that struggle and feel as though that has to be a part of our story. But it doesn't. Because a lot of things people don't know about me, like, yes, I was on the Cosby Show, yes, I've been working, the House of Pain, I've been working my whole life, but I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. So I had to unlearn a lot of these same sayings that you all are too. I'm from North New Jersey. My parents is from Baxter Terrace. This is hood and the ghetto as it sounds. So with that being said, that sometimes our parents, what we learn from them is what not to do. And what we learn is, okay, this was theirs, now let me do something different. And the good thing about a panel like this is that we are giving you the lessons so you don't have to learn them the hard way and on your own. So some things are worth learning through others' experience and realizing that I wasn't able to receive that in this setting because when you know better, you do better, and sometimes people don't know better to do better.
That are important. Vision, being able to see an opportunity, see where you want to go, see what you want to do. Team or teamwork, which is very hard, is to build a team. But if you get the right team, then you know who you're fighting with, you know you're in the trenches with, people that are willing to sacrifice, no job is too big, no job is too small. And then execution. And we're probably at a 3.5, which we was talking about was resource.
I mean, that 3.5 is really about ensuring that you have some resources, and I think it speaks to where you were alluding to, operating from a place of abundance. But those resources can be human, they can be financial, but the reality is you have to have some base of resources. And there are a number of different ways to go about securing those resources, and that's where I think when you operate from a place of abundance, you begin to think with a broader mindset around how and where to go secure those resources. When we asked the question about like a paycheck coming, no, I did not raise my hand, but I will say, I waited 17 years to become an entrepreneur. So of course, like I was in a very different financial position where I am deeply trenched in understanding the financial model that's needed in order for me to survive long term. So what I would say one of the 3 key success factors is understanding as an entrepreneur you have to invest your personal time in a consistent manner, as well as just knowing that it takes time before you really start to operate in the green. So that's my 3.5.
I think a lot of times people automatically think, oh, I'm a boss, I'm a boss. I'm a boss of my company, but I have people I have to report to that are my bosses. As an entrepreneur, I still have clients that tell me what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and what time to do it. So I think you have to remember that you still have to be humble even in owning your own businesses. And there are times when I'm bussing tables, when I'm cleaning dishes in my bar, and doing what needs to be done as an entrepreneur.
Breaking down events.
Come on with it.
Come on.
Carrying stuff.
So is there a course in college?
I'm sorry, I want to add one more thing. You have to also foster and build relationships. That's one other thing that we didn't talk about. When you're doing this entrepreneur thing, you decide to do this, you have to have a village around you, and your village says a lot about you. You have to have very positive people, you have to have support, whether it's spiritual, whether it's financial, or whether it's just your home girl that's going to tell you, go ahead, get out there and do it. You have to have a village around you. And when you build your relationships too, you have to keep that relationship going, and you have to stay in contact with these people. Like Keisha mentioned, she and I have been doing business now for 17, 18 years. And that's a relationship. Yes, we are sorority sisters too, but that doesn't make a difference. If I didn't do a good job for Keisha or get what she needed, that wouldn't have mattered. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's about you being accountable. And once you build those good relationships in your life, you keep those going, and then your business will continue to grow. Economics was my course in college that helped me because I had to understand money, of course, and then how to budget. And accounting and economics, those were the 2 that really helped me in my as being an entrepreneur. What was the first book?
If it's
A book, it's several books. One is definitely the Bible, that's one. Another one is Acts of Faith by Bianca Van Zandt, and I still read that book to this day because it's daily affirmations and it's inspiring because you have those messages in there, because you get really down sometimes being an entrepreneur. You need something to lift you up. And these books and kind words and your friends and your support, that helps you to get through some of the rough times, because you're going to have them.
Entrepreneurs some people create stuff out of nowhere, but I've worked every job. I've worked at every fast food restaurant, I've interned, so I've worked inside systems. Like I said, you get on-the-job training, you build confidence, you get information, you create a Rolodex, you create a networking system. I mean, honestly, college is the beginning of that. College is like a corporation, right? So this is the foundation of what you can become. But to your point of not wanting to be, you said you don't necessarily want to be a boss. You can lead from behind. You can lead, or you can do team building. That's what I was saying about team. And then play your position, know your strengths, know your weaknesses. Protect your strengths, protect your weaknesses. But at the end of the day, all of this is about value system. Right? All of this is about purpose and value system. A trapper that gets up, basically, and he decides, he wants to sell drugs, and I say if you can sell drugs, you can sell water. It's a transferable skill. If you can run a gang, you can run a corporation. You know what I'm saying? So it's about your value system and how you get to the goal. Some people want to be billionaires, some people want to be millionaires, some people just want to be comfortable. I tell that to my children. I say, listen, if you want a 4-bedroom house, 2 acres of land, and a Toyota, you work to that level. If you want private jet, it's different levels of work.
Owns a business has failed at some point. The other thing is, handle your business, handle your contracts, write out a plan. Don't just be willy-nilly with it. Handle your business. Whether it's an LLC, get incorporated, whether it's a nonprofit, handle those parts of your business. And the other thing is, as everyone has said, all of us have worked together in some way, shape, or form. Whatever God has for you is going to be for you. Don't have that crabs in a barrel mentality. A lot of times we as Black people have that whole crabs in a barrel. Oh, she's doing the same thing that I'm doing. No, it doesn't matter, because what's for you is going to happen regardless of me sharing my experiences or giving you some type of knowledge. I'm still going to be successful.
I wanted to add one more thing too. Don't be afraid to be different either. I know you're in college and you all have parties and you're going to do stuff. It's okay not to always follow the crowd. It's okay to be your own person. There's a lot of things that you might not be able to do because you got your plan, you're working on it. And you can't always do what everybody else is doing. I know that's how it was for me. Everybody was going this way, but I had to go this way because I had a plan. And you can't always be with your friends and do everything that they're doing. And it's called sacrifice.
What I will tell you is, I learned a tremendous amount. Like Shaka said, what you start realizing is you learn how to do and what to do without even really knowing why you're doing it. But you just start storing that up. I'm gonna say the one word that I think everybody here will agree with. Get yourself a mentor.
Yes.
See, I told you everyone agree. But seriously, get yourself a mentor. Because the truth of the matter is, at this stage in life, you just don't have all the connections just yet, right? But endear yourself to someone, right? Shaka mentioned the 48 laws of power. That's in there. Endear yourself to someone. It's the person that you give honor to that receives that will pour back into you. And the way that they pour back into you is through their life experiences so that you don't have to learn the hard way. I have one. I'm gonna go on the limb and say everybody up here has one. You see that? Everybody says, yeah, absolutely. Get one. I don't know how to tell you. I mean, you're on social media. Everybody's on Twitter. Everybody's on Instagram. Whoever you want to touch is pretty touchable right now. Yeah. Right? We didn't have that. We had to do it the old-fashioned way. Like Nikki said, you had to have your mama call somebody. Right? Is that right? And Nikki and I both are from Atlanta, right? So we got to go down who your mama know, who your daddy know. It's not built that way anymore. It's social media. You can reach out and touch somebody and say, hey, I want to, listen, I'm a college student, but I got $5. I'm gonna drink water, you drink this Starbucks, and we gonna talk, right? And the truth of the matter is, if you're getting a mentor, they're gonna spend $5 on coffee for you and them. It's gonna be great, right? That's your Starbucks for the day. But the reality of it is that time is invaluable. And as long as you respect that person's time, most people will give it to you freely. But you've got to respect that person's time. The quicker you figure out that time is money, the better off you'll be.